Hey, what's up, guys? Toogie here, back again with another episode of my Toronto Blue Jays franchise mode series right here on MLB The Show 18. And today, well, we go into our first offseason. We deal with the aftermath of losing to the Boston Red Sox in 5 games. We put up one hell of a fight. I'm proud of where this team made it, but it is obvious that we are a few pieces, to put it nice. So we're a few pieces away from being true contenders, which of course is the goal. Way too easy, in my opinion, to say, let's rebuild. Like, obviously this team needs a rebuild. Way too easy to do that. Let's do with what the owner goals say. So far, so good. And maybe, just maybe, if we do reach the postseason each of the first 3 years, we may then be able to take a little bit more time, and the contract goal might not be as strict. That could happen. Regardless, though, we are good to go. We're good to head into our first offseason. Let's sim through the rest of the postseason as the Cleveland Indians have defeated the Chicago Cubs in the 2018 World Series. Cleveland beats Boston in 7. And then sweeps Chicago. Wow. So the Indians swept the Cubs. The Cubs, of course, swept the Mets to get there and then beat the Dodgers in 5. So Cleveland takes home one hell of a beautiful... I don't even know. I was going to say one hell of a beautiful trophy. I was like, who cares? What I wanted to do was take a look at the awards. I'm so focused on just getting this team set. Roberto Perez was World Series MVP. Postseason MVP up to that point was Michael Brantley and Javier Baez in the NL. That brings this season to a close. We will, of course, get to see who made the Hall of Fame, if anybody. And thank God our manager's out of here. So that's good. Of course, we're going to have to focus on the staff and all that. I can't wait to get into this. Craig Breslow is the only player of ours to retire. And in terms of Hall of Famers, just Albert Pujols. So Ichiro, who I think is already gone. In real life, I know he's already gone. I can't remember if I started this when he had already committed to moving to a front office role. I think I did. Otherwise, he would have been here already. Of course, we're using the OSFM rosters. So we have a couple of players that we need to decide what to do with, including Josh Donaldson, which I have 2 options with him. Either I re-sign him and look to trade him, or just let him go to free agency. Essentially, for those who pay more attention to hockey, essentially let him go to free agency as a restricted free agent with a qualifying offer and get something back for him. But first and foremost, we need a new manager. John Gibbons, I'm good with leaving you behind. In fairness, he's not the worst. I mean, the -1 fielding and the home runs per 9 aren't the worst aren't the worst thing in the world. Although Doug Brocail is already much, much better. Although a +2 to stealing might not be the worst, but I like the +2 to contact and power. The arm strength, not so much. I still think I'd avoid Gibbons. Tim Leaper's not that good. Alan Gillis is okay. No minus stats, but the pluses aren't on anything too great. Omar Cannon. The Cannon. Again, the stats aren't terrible. Arm accuracy, power, contact drag button. To be honest, I'm leaning towards one of the top few offers here. -1 to velocity for Heinlein. Roger Pepper. Great name. Don't need you, though. I think we are going to go back up to the top of the list here. So Brocail has the -9 to hits per 9. The -2 to walks per 9, or John Gibbons. I think I'm gonna go for Brocail. The hits per 9 I'm a little bit concerned about, but I do like the +2 to power, +3 to contact. I feel like it's worth it, as opposed to just kind of minor returns. Then again, Alan Gillis, I mean, contact, the blocking, durability, he might be the way to go. I like the extra power and contact on Brocail, but at the very least, there's not a minus. The home runs per 9, the hits per 9. I might just go for Gillis, that we don't have any negatives. That's exactly what I'm going to do. He is 60 years old. I'm going to look to sign him for 2 years at 5.2 per. I imagine we'll need to pay him more than that. Yeah, we will. Yeah, we will. So let's go 2 years, and we'll bump that up to $6 million per season. He's a little bit happier about that. I'm going to go up to 2 years at 6.5 per season. And if we miss out on him, then hey, we have backup options in Brocail and Gibbons. From there, Delgado had the -2 to bunting, which I'm okay with. Power, discipline, and clutch, that's amazing for a hitting coach. The pitching coach, -1 to control. Parker Cross, I'd be okay with buying out his contract. And then, of course, the other three we just brought in. Troy Moen, the -1 to blocking is a little bit concerning, but Parker Cross, the -1 to control. It's not terrible. We'll save the money, and we'll look to just bring in a manager. So from there, Donaldson, you're going to look for a boatload of money. I know you are. Yep, $25 million per season. Now, if we re-sign him and trade him on our own, we're guaranteed to get a bigger return. That's if we can trade him, and it's not always a guarantee. Guys like Anderson, Axford, and even Granderson, we're just going to let go of. There's really no point in qualifying someone like Granderson either. Or Marco Estrada, for that matter. I don't think he'll be signed outright, and I'm not interested in bringing him back, so I'm cool with losing him for nothing. Justin Smoke, how much are you looking for? 5.1 is not bad. So I am going to look to bring back Justin Smoke. Better than letting him go for nothing. He's 32, so at best I want you for like 2 years at 5.1. Donaldson, though. Donaldson. 1 year deal. Basically, that's my big decision, is do I just take the compensation because we know he'll be signed? Do I take the compensation and the extra draft picks, or do I look to bring him in? I gotta be honest, I'm leaning compensation. I don't want to risk being stuck with him. He's not the worst player in the world to be stuck with, but based off the money and his age, I have a feeling his value is not going to be as high. So I think Josh Donaldson, I mean, his lack of production in the postseason definitely helped me make my mind up. He's done here one way or another. Oh, it's just whether or not I want to trade him. And I'm just worried, $25 million, that he might not be worth a ton. You know what? I think I'm going to risk it. You know what? I'll give him $26 million even. So he and Smoke are the only two that I'm going to look to bring back in. We have 6 days for those two to sign their offers. Justin Smoke's already back. If Donaldson doesn't accept that, then there are decisions made for me, and he just goes into free agency. So we'll see what happens from there. Alan Gillis has accepted our offer, so we have a new manager. Donaldson, you have 3 days to decide here what you're doing, buddy. He still hasn't signed. All right, Donaldson hasn't signed. That made up my mind for me. So we will also tender a qualifying offer to him. He'll go to free agency. Marco Estrada, I mean, how much is he looking for? 3.8. That's not terrible, but he was. So he's also 35 years old, so I'm getting away from that. The other four we're going to let go of, and we'll see what happens with Donaldson. Whether or not, I mean, he didn't accept the offer, so he has flat out gone to free agency. We'll see what happens with him. We're not at risk of losing anybody in the Rule 5 draft. For anybody who's not as familiar with baseball, if you don't understand what the Rule 5 draft is, it's just easier to look it up on Wikipedia than having me explain it to you. But it is a secondary draft, essentially. So we have quite a few players that we have to sign. But I am also worried about free agency. And obviously there are some big names here with Altuve, Harper, Brian Dozier. And we'll probably get in on that as much as we can. But let's start with the re-sign phase here, essentially. Tender contracts. Lino is going to be brought back, even just for a AAA option. Doesn't have enough MLB service time for salary arbitration. That's fine. You may renew if you've not reached... Yeah, whatever. That's fine. Platoon role for him, I'm okay with. And we'll go 2 years at $560. And actually just bump it up to $600. It's a good deal for him. He can be our secondary option. Luke Maley, as people have informed me, he can be let go. No reason to keep him. No reason to keep McGuire. I can bring in other options, other cheaper options as well for depth at the AAA level. So the only catcher I'm looking to bring back is Lino. The others can go. That's fine by me. First base, Juan Kelly, he can go. Emilio Guerrero can go. It's good at the very least. We're getting rid of a lot of unneeded depth. Kevin Biggio. Biggio at 23. Actually, you know what? Let me check. 28, 24. Only a 65. 24 and a 62. 23 and a 67. Biggio I'm going to bring back. At the very least, he's worth bringing back. We'll bump it up to 100K. Ruiz is a 60 overall at 20. I'll bring him back as well, just because he's a younger player. At third, obviously, there's a certain someone here that we need to sign. We're going to get him for 3 years at 1.9. He's going to be pissed off about that money, but he is absolutely going to be an everyday player. And that's the good thing. We have Donaldson's replacement right here. So I can go out and spend that Donaldson money on, I don't know, starting pitching, which is where we certainly need help. I am not pronouncing your name. Leblebijan. Yeah. Hey, you can play multiple positions and good for you, but holy shit, your name. Can I buy a vowel? Gonzalez, 20 years old. He can stay. Shortstops, Urena will obviously stay. Looking for a platoon role. And I can sign him to whatever now, actually. I'm surprised. He's just flat out free agent eligible. I'm going to go 3 years at 8.10. I could go for longer, but I'm going to go 3 years at 8.10. Maybe 4. Let's go 3. Bo Bichette also needs a deal. There's a decent chance he could get some MLB playing time this year, so I'm going to bump him up to 500. Diaz is 28 and a 70. Steep potential. You're gone. Warmoth needs to be brought back. And Anderson Tejada can also be brought back 3 years at 5.6. That works. Left field. Teoscar Hernandez, who was a little bit disappointing. I'm obviously going to bring him back. Let's go 2 years and drop that down to 1.4. Sweeney is 28. C potential. We're going to let go of him. 25, 65 overall in the C potential. No thank you. 24 in the C potential. No thank you. Lazaro Armenteros, who was actually a really good signing or a really good trade piece for us, is brought in. And of course, I'm going to bring back Tim Tebow. Why would I not? We'll bring him back for the memes. Austin Meadows needs to be signed as well. Victor Mesa, still perhaps my favorite name on the team. Here's the thing. He wants to be in a platoon role. So Victor Mesa will more than likely be traded because he's not going to be getting regular playing time. I will gladly re-sign him, but you're not staying. Like, there's no way. You're not getting that regular playing time. It could be worth playing him in AAA, but if he's pissed off about it, then it's not. So there is a decent chance that one Victor Mesa could be moved. We'll bring back Ortiz. Ramirez can go. And then pitching-wise, Andrew Case is 26 and a 69 overall. I can let go of you and look to bring in somebody else. Connor Fisk and Sam Bragg. I'm going to let go of all three of them. We'll bring in other options. Relief-wise, Danny Barnes was okay for us this year. And he's looking for a damn cheap deal. Oh my God. 2 years at $600K. He's going to be pissed off about that money, but that money-wise, but still. Individual stats aren't tremendous, but he's still worth bringing back. Carlos Ramirez played in AAA this year. I'm going to bring him back. I feel like he might be one who could progress to a pretty big level. I'm going to try to go 2 years at 600. He should sign that. Drew Murin, 30 years old, no thank you. Reiner Cruz is 32, no thank you. 31, 26, 29, 28, 25. So yeah, we're getting rid of a lot of completely unnecessary AAA and AA level depth that we just flat out don't need. I'm going to look to bring in younger players to fill those roles. We're going to bring back Chad Kuhl. He wants to be a rotation guy this year. We'll see if that happens. Sean Reed Foley, bump him up a little bit. Gaviglio, I know in real life, at least I think in real life, he was doing well at a certain point. That changes on a day-to-day basis with Blue Jays pitchers in real life as to whether or not they're doing well. Stat-wise for him, though, it doesn't make sense. He'd be a AAA option. I at least want to explore free agency to see who else is there. So we might bring him back at a later time. Same for Santos. No real reason to bring him back. Dylan, though, at 25. He's worth bringing back. Taylor Guerrieri, same thing. 26 years old. He's a 67. I mean, Dylan has that little bit of an extra chance. It's a year younger to get a little bit better. But Santos, Guerrieri, Gaviglio, I'm going to let them go. Nate Pearson can be brought back, though. Romano can go. Rowley can go. Pardinho needs to be brought back. He's only a C potential, but he's younger. And Joey Wentz, same thing. So we are good to go there. And then we get to deal with the big contracts and arbitration. Starting off with Solarte. who I'm not feeling that good about. Let's go 1 year. Arbitration level 1.4 mil. That I'm okay with. But beyond this season, there's no way. So we'll bring him back. Devin Travis, I would rather bring you back than lose you for nothing. 2.8's a little bit much, though, admittedly. I don't really like either of them for our starting second base option, but I don't want to let them go for free because there's no compensation there. So I'm willing to spend the money to bring both of them back, and then we'll probably flip them. Left, David Peralta, one of our big deadline pickups. We're going to go 2 years at 2.2 mil. That's actually a really good contract, although postseason-wise he struggled. Steve Pearce, versatile, still has good power, but he's 35. I'm a little bit worried about him declining even further. I'm still going to bring him back. I'll bring him back on a cheap deal just because that power is still obviously quite eye-catching. So we'll bring him back. Kevin Pillar. Let's go 2 years at 2.2. I'm intrigued to see just how much compensation we get in the form of extra draft picks for Donaldson. And we'll go 2.2 for Grichuk. I keep forgetting on an episode-by-episode basis. Randall. Good old Randall. Then relievers. Liam Hendricks will obviously be brought back. We're going to go 1 year at 2.8 just to save as much money as we can here. Josh Fields will be brought back. Decent chance that I flip Josh Fields just because of his age. We'll see. It depends on what other signings we might be able to bring in or what other player progression we end up seeing. He's going to be very pissed about this contract, but depending on how long I keep Biagini, it could be worth it. I can sign you for 4 years at $700K. That's a great deal for me, but not for you. I'm taking it. He's going to be pissed off about that deal. He's going to be making such little money. Aaron Loop, 73 overall at 31 years old. I'm going to let go of him, Albuquerque, and Patricia. Again, just to see what other options we could bring in. Albuquerque and Loop might not be the worst, and they're not the worst. And odds are I'll end up signing players that are similar to them, but I want to see who else is available. That way I can prioritize potential prospects. Stroman. Let's go 2 years at 3.6. Obviously still a great deal for us. He'll be a little bit upset about it if he accepts. Aaron Sanchez is 26. We'll go 2 years at 3.4. So without a doubt, the amount of money that we're saving by not signing Donaldson is going to help, and then Tepesh can be let go of. So re-sign-wise, we're looking good. Free agent-wise, well, that's where we're going to start taking a look. And in terms of there being any prospects, thank God they added the ages on the pictures here. That wasn't a thing at the start of the game. Miguel Trejo, 19 years old. He's only a 56 with a C potential, but I am going to sign him. Or at least I'm going to try to. And then anybody else, let's find out. 22, a D potential. All right, so at least look to bring in Trejo. And then roster-wise, I mean, Russell Martin's going to be moved, but we do have Lino as a backup. So I could look to bring in Robinson Chirinos. Hit 258 last year. I'm going to say no to that. He's not an improvement on Martin, and as I said, I am going to try to move Martin. So catcher's still a position that we have to worry about, but we do have Lino as the backup. I'm not sure who our starter is going to be next season. At first, of course, we re-signed Justin Smoke, and he is by far the best option available. Kendrys Morales is still under contract as our secondary option, which isn't ideal, but someone like Hanley, he's going to want a big contract. We're pretty much stuck there. Mark Reynolds, yeah, we're stuck with who we have, which isn't the worst case scenario. Do we have any younger players? There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Daryl Delabate, 18 years old, 60 overall, and a B potential. Those are the type of players that you have to look for in free agency, and I'm going to make sure to pay him a little bit extra just to make sure he signs. Albert Clark is 20, only a C potential, but I'm still going to try to sign him. Anybody else? 23, no thank you. All right, it's not bad. 2 first basemen to offer a contract to. At second, you know, we could solve that issue of having a weaker second baseman by either signing Jose Altuve, Brian Dozier, or DJ LeMahieu, for that matter. I will consider those options again in a second. Hell, signing, I mean, Jed Lowry's 34. That wouldn't be the best idea. Josh Harrison, though, could be worth it. He's also extremely versatile and hit 284 last year. That might not be a bad way to go, to be honest. I kind of like Josh Harrison for this role. Do we have any prospects? Brian Alonso, very low overall, but he's 18. So I'm willing to sign him as like a double-A player for the next year. Second base is something we're going to have to come back to. Altuve, Dozier, LeMahieu, or Harrison could all work for us. At third, I mean, Donaldson could still accept our offer. Either the offer we sent out or the qualifying offer. Either could happen. But I mean, at third base, we are fine with Vlad Jr. It's just whether or not there's a prospect. And Val Medina, he's only a C potential, but he is a good option. Is there anybody else here for younger players? Galvis is a D potential, so we'll hold off on him. Another D potential. Yeah, a couple of younger players, but nobody that's looking to be that good. Again, if you're like a lower 50, I'd prefer you to be 18 years old. So Kevin DiMaggio, that's not going to happen. Hello! He's a terrible overall, and he's 21, but that A potential, he might have some trade value. Just off of that A potential alone. So I'm good to sign him. And from there, it's just really what happens with Donaldson. And at shortstop, Manny Machado is eligible. And of course, Tulowitzki, he was one of our best postseason performers, but we do have Urena and Bichette coming up through the system. So, signing Manny Machado, probably not necessary. Could be worth it. Hechavarria is there as well. I kind of worked on his name, his pronunciation. Kind of, not really. I don't know. Bringing Machado to Toronto would be amazing. We definitely have options here infield-wise, though. Like I said, I could bring in Hechavarria at short to replace Tulo in the interim. That could be worth it. Galvis as well. It's a little bit of a better fielder and a little bit faster. Now, there's another thing that I want to address. It's just our lack of speed, because that absolutely killed us in the postseason. Really not having any steal threats at major moments. Gavin Lux is 21. No, thank you. 20. Again, as a party, I'm going to go with as a party. He's worth signing at least for a 55 because he's 18. All right, nobody else there. Left field, they have Para. Of course, we have Peralta, so we're good there. Anybody else in terms of, prospects? Hey, Johnny French, 20 years old, B potential, not bad. Try to sign Johnny French. That's just a weird name. Robert Battle. I wish you were of a better potential, buddy. Because your name is tremendous. 21. All right, so Braxton Davidson's not worth it. Fletcher Skaggs is, though. We are getting some tremendous names so far. Davidson's 21 and a 51. Skaggs, though, he's a 50 at 20, but that B potential could make him a trade piece. And then Torrey Hunter. Not that one, although I believe it is his son. All right, so we're good there. At center, Adam Jones. I mean, we have Kevin Pillar. So in terms of prospects, do we have anybody? 23C, 22C, 19 and a D for Miguel Ordonez. Roger Rorabaugh, worth trying to sign for that B potential. He might have some value. And then, of course, Bryce Harper, which would be amazing. And I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest. I'm obviously quite tempted to bring in a player of that caliber. It would be extremely helpful. Let's see. And hello, Jose Calero, 19 years old, A potential. Give him all the money. Just make sure he signs. So that's good for the infield. And just, position players in general. So from there, we're only looking at big name players. Sean Doolittle, by the way. Hello, Mr. Doolittle. Look to have had a good season last year, too. What are you looking for? 8.1. That's not bad. That is not bad. Brad Brack is there. Zach Duke. Belial and Duke I wouldn't be interested in. Brack, though. Brack and Doolittle could really help for the bullpen. Especially, bullpen-wise, it's looking okay. But imagine if we bring in a Brad Brack and get rid of Josh Fields, right? And just get that upgrade there. That wouldn't be too bad. Oliver Perez, one of my favorite players of all time, for no reason whatsoever other than video games. And it was that era right there, the Pirate years. And then he went to the Mets, and it was all downhill from there. Who do we have here prospect-wise? If anybody, please. It's not looking too good, is it? It's not looking too good at all. Oh, boy. 22 seat, nope. Like, hey, look, a younger player. He wasn't that great. Neither is Dan Burnett's. Prospect-wise, I think we're in trouble. Edgar Parra is not that great. All right, so there's nobody there. I did see Tim Lincecum there, though. So Brack and Doolittle I'm tempted to bring in. And then for starters, there's some help there potentially with Dallas Keuchel and Patrick Corbin. There is some help there. Although, if you look at Yanoa and Alvarez, it's also not that bad. But, of course, having more options. The more options, the better. So, there's a decent chance of me bringing in some good help. Hernandez. I was going to say hello, and then I'm just like, oh, no, he's a D potential. I'm still going to look to bring him in for a season to help AAA. But in terms of any long-term potential, he's got nothing. Who else do we have here? 21 and a D, Doug Thompson. No, thank you. Evan Brenner. 19 A potential out of 64. Yes, please. Please sign with me, Evan, please. Oh my God, that is a game-changing level pitcher right there. And then not to mention these three, Brandt, Marion, and Crespo, all absolutely worth signing. Holy hell. So we are potentially getting some starting pitching help right here and right now. That would be great. And Luis Alonso as well. Damn. Also would be very much worth signing. Hentages, and that's that. So there are, without a doubt, some pitchers that are worth signing. From here now, though, it comes down to the big-time offers, right? And if we take a look at our budget, I mean, we're still good to go. Obviously, certain player salaries are about to bump up in a big-time way. I kind of want to make sure that we sign all of our major players, but I know that we can afford somebody. So, I mean, Altuve at second would be great. Harper would be great. Altuve is looking for 31 a season. Harper's looking for 31 a season. Brian Dozier at 31, looking for 28. Machado wants 30 a year. Doolittle only wanted 8.1, and I am very much intrigued at the thought of improving our bullpen. I could sign Doolittle for 2 years, even just 1 year, and be very happy with that. I can't help but think just going all out on pitching would be a good way to go. It'd be a very, very good way to go. Like I said, what's Dallas looking for? 14's not bad. How did he do last year? Better than anybody we had, that's for sure. And Patrick Corbin, Corbin had a rough year. Corbin had a pretty rough year. What's he looking for? 13. Ugh. All right, so Patrick Corbin we wouldn't go for. We'd have to hope that he's able to turn it around, but it's like I don't see that happening. That is pretty rough. 4.2 WAR, Ks per 9, walks per 9. I mean, I don't know. Admittedly, the 4.4 ERA is scaring me off a little bit from offering him $13 million a season. And then from there, someone like Pomeranz wouldn't be that much of an improvement. He could be a fifth guy for us. How did he do? He did okay. If I didn't want to offer anybody a ton of money, Pomeranz would be all right. Or we go after Dallas, which could very well work. And again, Brad Brack, the whip was at least okay. 4.3. I'm going to improve our pitching. I'm going in for Doolittle. Let's go 1 year. I'll offer him the closer role, even though he might not get it. Actually, I'd like to bring him in. Just play him as the setup man. But Rivero, I'm pretty sure, needs to be the closer. He does. All right. So with that, Doolittle's out the door. But Brad Brack could be brought in. 4.3. I'm going to bump that up to 5 for this season. Again, he was okay. 54 innings of work. Let me take a look here. 2 blown saves, 9 holds. It's a little bit risky, but it is a 1-year contract, and there's no guarantees that he'll sign it. It's a little bit risky, but I'm willing to do it. And then, so again, Doolittle, It's not going to happen just because you're going to be too upset about not being the closer. And there's no guarantees. Like, if I could sign him and guarantee that he'd be happy enough to at least stay as an 87 overall, it'd be worth it. But him as an 85, even then, that'd still be great. Oh, I don't know. Is an upset Sean Doolittle better than no Sean Doolittle? I'm going to say no. I'm going to go up to 8.5 for 1 year and see if he's willing to do that. And Dallas, let's do this. I know you're not looking for a short-term deal. Let's go 14.5 for 1 season. We're going in on the 3 best pitchers available, at least in terms of starting, relief, and closing. Again, I'd like to go after Patrick Corbin, but those numbers, just no. I can't give him 14 mil. I can't. I mean, especially when Dallas is looking for 14. Corbin's looking for 13. I'd have to give him about 14 to make sure it goes through. So we're keeping at least I'm keeping my eye on Altuve, Harper, Dozier, Machado, and even DJ LeMahieu. I'm intrigued to see what happens there. And Josh Harrison, for that matter. He was the other one. But let's go ahead and sim forward a day just to see what happens in terms of any signings. We can no longer afford Donaldson. That is fine. And Dallas has gone to the Nationals. 4-year deal. I had a feeling that might happen. It was the risk with me only offering him 1 year, 1 year deal as opposed to 4 years, where he's going to be 36 by the time that contract's up. That's all right. And we have our maximum roster size. Shit. So Dallas goes to the Nationals, and I'm going to have to go back through all those free agents again, so I might have to jump cut. Really? We have that many people signed? Oh, that's right. I guess because I didn't let go of the people. Damn, that's right. That's the one thing I didn't do. So Cantwell... All right, I already went through this. All the players I said I wasn't going to re-sign, I'm just going to let go of now. I'm going to go back to the free agent list, make sure I have all my offers set up, and then we'll continue from there. So give me a moment.
Do it! Just do it!
All right, we're good. We've gone ahead and released all of those players that I talked about releasing, so we've freed up a couple of those roster spots. As far as signings have gone, at least thus far, we missed out on Evan Brenner, which is a massive, massive kick to the balls, especially because I offered him a hell of a lot more than $50K. So that's unfortunate, but you can see the list of players there that we have signed so far. So the majority of players that I've wanted, I have brought in, including Brad Brack, as a matter of fact. That was a weird, that wasn't even intentional. Of course, we missed out on Dallas. I'd say the big one so far has been missing out on Evan Brenner. That's really unfortunate. But all things considered, we're still shaping up to be, good in terms of the players that we're going after. These are the only 4 that we haven't heard offers from or haven't heard back from about the offers that we've sent. And from there, it's just a matter of what big names do we go after, if any. I'm a little bit upset that Donaldson doesn't have an offer thrown his way yet, although that will probably change once guys like Altuve and Harper are out of there. So, I mean, really, that's kind of my big question, is how much money do I want to spend here? I mean, I have $29 million in pending offers right now, basically 30. We still have enough money to bring in certain big-name players. It's just, I don't know if I want to sign someone for the sole reason of trading them, because a lot of times that can cause issues. But in terms of who we've talked about here, again, at second, I'd be fine with bringing in someone like a Josh Harrison. At third, we're fine. And then you could talk about bringing in a Manny Machado at short. That might not be the worst idea with the players that we have coming up. I mean, again, a Harrison-Machado 1-2 punch could do very well for us. And then, of course, you're also talking about someone like Bryce Harper, which, I mean, Jesus, he hit 350 last year. So that is also an option. So I got to admit, as much as getting Altuve, Dozier, or LeMahieu, as much as that would be nice, I think maybe just going for the cheaper option. I don't even know, how much is Harrison looking for again? 4.6? That's not bad. I mean, he's 31. We technically might have the money to do it. I don't know if we could really afford to try and bring in 2 different players. I mean, if we bring in Altuve, the max offer goes down to 174. So, I don't know. That's a tough one, especially with the $30 million already available. So I got to admit, I think I'm going to take myself out of the Altuve, Dozier, LeMahieu conversation. I mean, LeMahieu's only looking for 11.7, which isn't too bad. He hit 333 last year. This is tough, man. This is tough. Because again, if I go for Harrison and Hechavarria, at the very least I could walk away from this in a good mood, and then, or at least feeling good about the team. I'm gonna walk away from this in a good mood no matter what. It's a video game. But then in terms of big time offers, I could go in for Harper. I could go back for Machado, Altuve, or Dozier. I'm gonna go with my gut here. I'm gonna go for general improvements as opposed to just one big time payday. I'm gonna see if Josh Harrison's willing to sign. I'm willing to go. 1 year might not be enough. I'm gonna go 1 year at $5 million, and I understand there's a good chance of him rejecting that. But I also don't want to get stuck with a somewhat rough contract. Let's go up to 2. 2 year. Again, he was looking for 5. Let's go 2 years at 10 mil. That's not bad. That's not bad. And I'm going to go over to Hechavarria. He only hit 237. Just a little bit concerning. Actually, Hechavarria might not be the way to go. He's not bad. I mean, again, if I have to get rid of Tulo, he's a placeholder, right? And the contact isn't bad, though. Let's say 2 years. 6.3, though. Oh, boy. That's a bit much, buddy, don't you think? I mean, Jesus, Harrison's only looking for 4.3. That is a little bit much, buddy. I mean, at least you can play the majority of infield spots, but still... that is a rough contract. You know what? I'm going to wait it out. Let's sim forward another day. See if any major signings were made, which I don't think is the case. We signed Johnny French, which is nice. Another outfielder. Calero and Clark. So we're doing okay in terms of bringing in players that we were targeting. So I'm happy about that. French, Calero, and Clark. Evan Brenner, of course, went elsewhere, unfortunately. I'm tempted to almost make certain trades now, but I don't want to move a Tulowitzki unless I know for sure that we're good to go. Does Donaldson have any pending offers? He still doesn't. Seattle's in on the Harper sweepstakes, as is Altuve, which, again, scares me. To commit to that much money, it's not my favorite thing to do. I prefer to build a solid team all around as opposed to trying to afford a superstar or two, at best. I do find it funny, though, that Machado has no offers. He had a little bit of an off year, but nothing too bad. Huh. Also, I have to sneeze. All right, I think I've recovered from that. That was only slightly, only slightly painful. Only slightly. Oh, boy, I don't know what to do here. I don't know what to do with guys like Harrison. Hechavarria I was interested in signing. The B potential isn't as important because he's 29 years old, but just damn. And then Galvis hit 230 last year. So maybe rolling with Tulo, unless we get Machado, who doesn't have any offers out. Maybe that's not the worst idea. He's looking for $30 million, though. $30 million. And then Doolittle has some... frankly, ridiculous offers on the cards. I didn't send him back an offer yet, but I am going to try. And apparently he's more interested in my offer than Washington, so who knows? We might end up with Sean Doolittle. I'm going to sim another day. As Bryce Harper goes to the Braves, 7 years, $26 million a year. That's actually not bad. I thought he would have gotten over 30. You could argue we should have gone in for that. We have signed Sean Doolittle, though, so that's a good improvement for the bullpen. But Bryce Harper is officially off the market. You could argue that it would have been worth it. Zach Duke to the Orioles, Harper, of course, to the Braves. Again, $217 million contract. Considering it was under 30, they actually got a really good deal. But there's no guarantee. Case in point with Altuve that had we offered more, had we offered less, there's no guarantee he would have signed anyway. I mean, Altuve is considering taking the discount to stay in Houston right now. But in terms of these big-time names, so Machado does have an offer now officially, as does LeMahieu. Dozier does not. So Altuve, Dozier, Machado, LeMahieu are the big names left. Again, Harrison's still there. I cannot believe Hechavarria is looking for that much money. That's insane. You could tell what I'm tempted by, and that's whether or not I go for a big-time offer, because I could afford it. I very much could. And I'm still looking, admittedly, towards trading some people, including, I'd say first and foremost, getting Morales' contract off the books would be great. If I sign a second baseman, Solarte and Travis, one of them can go, but the big move would be Tulowitzki. Like, I'm still looking at freeing up space. So, damn. Actually, do we have anybody at first that could immediately replace Morales? We don't. I'd have to sign somebody. Anybody. I don't know, man. I'm so tempted. I'm so torn. Altuve would obviously be a great addition. Hit 316 last year. He's in decline, though. Some of those stats are in decline. It's a little bit scary, actually. Brian Dozier, some positives. Mostly positives. Hit 267 last year for the Twins. And then Manny Machado. Some positives, a few negatives, though. Hit 242. Or we go for DJ LeMahieu. Again, some positives, some negatives. Hit 333 last year. And I gotta be honest, LeMahieu might not be the worst signing to go to in the world. He might not be. Again, he's relatively cheap at 11 mil. 11 mil per season is all he's looking for. He hit 333 last year. But then obviously, Altuve, Dozier, Machado, those are the more tantalizing offers because of the name value. Right. I think, I gotta be honest, I'm leaning towards like trying to get Harrison and LeMahieu. I feel like that's the better way to go. That's what I'm going to do. So DJ LeMahieu, I'm willing to go 2 years at $12 million per, as long as you're all right with that. And I'm going to go to Josh Harrison. I'm going to go 2 years at $5 million per, and that seems like a pretty damn good bit of business. And then again, Corbin, I'm scared off of. 13 million, like if he performs to the level that he could, cool, but there's no guarantee. And for the most part, we're still good to go. I still like the addition of Doolittle. Like I said, he's showing up as an 83 right now. I'm intrigued if we can at least get him to be an 85. You know, like as long as he's not like ridiculously below his overall because of the morale system, we should be okay. And to be honest, is there a first baseman who's willing to sign platoon role? There we go, Luis Valbuena. How did Valbuena do last year? 285, 18 home runs. Mark Reynolds. Valbuena might be the way to go. You know what? I'm going to send Luis Valbuena an offer as well. Then again, he's at 2.5, and Morales, it's not like there's a massive discount between him and Morales, which is what I was looking for. Mike Napoli still has some good power, though. He's only looking for 560. Napoli, I mean, he's terrible at this point. He's 37. Hit 29 home runs last year with a 193 average. You know what? Let's go 1 year at 600 from Mike Napoli. And I'm willing to bring him in as potentially the backup first baseman so that we can get rid of Kendrys Morales if we need to. So let's move forward. Minnesota took Almedes Diaz, or you know his name, damn it. They took Diaz off of waivers. Donaldson went to Baltimore. That's interesting. So he only signed for $20 million a season. 5-year deal, though, at 33 years old. 94 overall still, so he goes to a division rival. However, that's a division rival that's not in great shape. Even in video game standing, they're not in great shape. And we get compensation. Machado is off the board, though. He went for $26 million to Seattle. All right, so Harper went to Atlanta. Machado went to Seattle. And we will get compensation for Josh Donaldson, which just leaves, as far as big fish free agents go, that leaves Dozier and LeMahieu. And I'm intrigued to see how that goes. So a couple of big-time moves there. Manny Machado off the board. He's one that I was really tempted to sign. We didn't. We did end up signing Josh Harrison as well. So that's good. Donaldson goes to Baltimore, Pomeranz to the Nationals, and of course Harper's off the board as well. So I haven't gone for any of like the real big fish free agents, but I feel like we're spending that Donaldson money wisely. I just need to hear from LeMahieu, Napoli, and Medina. Those are the final ones. Let's see. Free agency. Erasmus to the Rangers. Nothing major there. Simon of the day and DJ LeMahieu. Welcome to Toronto. That is a fairly good deal for us. I'm happy with that one. I am happy with that one. The only signing on the 9th. DJ LeMahieu, welcome. Only 2 guys left from the tender contracts, and the only one to really be concerned about is Vlad Jr. A couple of the other big dogs still haven't. Don't know why. I saw Marcus Stroman and Hendricks, and I'm like, the big dogs. Screw it. That's what you can call our rotation from now on. The big dogs. Patrick Corbin goes to the Angels. Fine by me. Vlad Jr. has signed, which is great. So we only have 5 players left that we're looking to sign. What's the budget looking like, actually? As Napoli signed with us as well. I do believe. Yep, Mike Napoli signed as well, so I could look to trade Kendrys Morales to free up a little bit of space. So that's nice. What are we at budget-wise? Wow, we still have a lot of money to spend. We have a lot of money to spend. Unfortunately, all the big names are off the books now. But that does leave us a little bit of versatility in terms of trades. So, we may have... And then again, Stroman hasn't signed yet. Hendricks and Sanchez haven't signed yet. So we're actually in a really good spot, I'd say. We're in a very good spot. We just need Medina to sign at this point. At least one person signed there. 7 days left for that. Let's bump up Gonzalez's contract just to get him to sign, hopefully. I want to get this over with. Stroman was 2 years at 7.2. Let's go... So that would have been 7.2 to bring it down to 3.6. I'm going to bring it up to $4 million a year, so we'll go $8 million even. Sanchez, let's go to $4 million a year. I'm good with that. And Josh Fields, let's go 1 year at $2 million. And hopefully the 3 of them will sign with a little bit of upped contract. 2 of them signed. Stroman and Gonzalez are the only 2 holdouts at this point. It's not too bad. And the Twins are offering us a trade. Trent Beal for Phil Hughes. Absolutely not. Stroman, have you signed? You haven't. Neither has Gonzalez. What the hell? Let's keep stemming forward. Stroman is signed. Gonzalez still hasn't. He's not the most important prospect in the world. He's really pushing his luck here. But everybody is signed. Budget-wise, perfect. I'd say we've done incredibly well here. I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased in my own moves. But I feel like we've done incredibly well. If we lose Gonzalez, whatever. I mean, we technically have until December 2nd for him to sign. The 40-man's good. We're not at risk of losing anybody in the Rule 5. I am extremely happy with how we've done. Gonzalez is signed. Let's move on. And to be honest, actually, let's stop simulating just because there are some teams that might still want to spend some money or might still have some money to spend. Donaldson in Baltimore. What a guy. They managed to hold on to Zach Britton, though. So, well, actually, they haven't even re-signed him yet. It could get worse for Baltimore. It could get much worse. So, in terms of money that I'm looking to free up, I want to get rid of Russell Martin. I'm not happy with how he performed in the playoffs. I guess the big question is, who could I look to bring in? Like, Sanchez isn't signed. That's the one thing I'm concerned about, is some of my targets for catchers, if we wanted to bring in anybody specifically, they might not be signed yet. Francisco Maya. Didn't do that well hitting-wise. My God. I'd have to offer so much to get him, but how amazing would that be? Salvador Perez, making $8 million a year. Not the best at bat. Decent power. Tyler Flowers. I'm just trying to decide when's the right time to move forward to look for a lot of these trades, because I want to get rid of Russell Martin. It's just, it doesn't make sense to keep him. It doesn't. Jorge Alfaro, I'd have to give up a little bit more. Wilson Contreras is not signed at the moment. There's not a ton of really good options out there. I mean, at least from what I'm seeing. He has Monty Grandal, Austin Barnes, not signed. Grandal is, but Buster Posey. So yeah, actually, to get rid of Russell Martin, it might be worth just waiting. It might be more difficult to find certain options beyond that, but that's okay. Let's do one last look over of the free agent list. And again, catching-wise, we have Martin and Lino. There's nobody else in here that I'd rather bring in as a full-time guy over Russell Martin anyway. I'd rather just keep him. First base, we do have Napoli, in case I decide to get rid of Morales for money reasons. Second base, we have LeMahieu and Harrison. Third base, Vlad Jr. Shortstop, Tulo, who will probably be traded. But we have options. I mean, Harrison can play short. So there's a chance of that happening. So, Hecavari, I'm sorry, buddy. You're looking for way too much money. And outfield-wise, we still have Peralta, Kevin Pillar, and Gregory Polanco. I think we're good. We're still going to have to bring in a little bit of depth, obviously. For the moment, we're okay. So, let's just keep going, and we'll look to move out certain players. The Royals make a trade with the Cubs. Jose Quintana gone for Kelvin Herrera and Jake Junis. Interesting deal there. The Royals, though, getting one hell of a starter. Let's keep going. All that's good to go. Sim to winter meetings. Mark Melanson traded straight up for David Dahl. Melanson was already assigned to the Sea Dogs, but a good pickup for the Red Sox. And to the Rule 5 we go. Now, with the Rule 5, I've been running a Draft to Glory style series where I said, okay, one pitcher, one position player. If there's anybody good available here, I'm going to take them. Just flat out. I'm going to take the best players available here if we have any. And any of these guys, like the Bees, just no. Like they're not worth it. Hansel Robles, though, might be worth it. I mean, Whistler might have an outside chance of turning something. Robles might be worth it. Is there anybody else here potential-wise? 28 and a B, 27, 26. Jace Fry's way too low. Hansel Robles might be worth taking. At catcher, Christian Betancourt. I always found it weird he could play the outfield too. Not really worth bringing in. Second base. Wow, there's really nobody in the Rule 5 this year. Now again, keep in mind, for anybody who doesn't know, anybody I select from this has to play on our Major League roster or we essentially send them back to their team. So if I were to pick up Tuzay Lin, yeah, close enough. He's a Red Sox prospect too, or at least was. Still is. He's not at the moment in this. If I were to pick him up, I'd have to trade him immediately or risk sending him down. So I'm going to take Hansel Robles, though. The Robles. Worth picking up in case we need another bullpen option. And if Lynn's still available, I'll take him at this point in time. And probably look to immediately trade him. So there we go. That works out for me. We get the two best players available for us at the time. That's not too bad. And we are good to go. So really, the only thing left to do is to get to the start of spring training. Zach Greinke sent to the Astros for Will Harris and Justin Verlander. Jesus Christ, that's a robbery, even with Greinke being 35. Pirates are offering me Trevor Williams for Austin Meadows. That's actually not bad, but actually that's pretty damn good, really. It's a 77. I'm going to take a look at my other options, but that is an interesting trade. I want to get to the start of spring training, because then we can check the Corey Ray from Michael Yanoa. No, thank you. Then we can check free agency. And from there, we can start wheeling and dealing. So we can check free agency for any other prospects. Now that the spring training is here, we'll also have to fill out the roster. But, yeah, let's see who's available here. So we're mainly looking for prospects, and then from here, probably off screen, I'll just go ahead and sign whatever veterans I need to fill out the roster. But next episode, there will absolutely be trades. Like there's no choice. There's going to be quite a bit more wheeling and dealing. I have a feeling, much like NHL, off-season videos, they're going to be long. So, hey, hello, Alex Julio, deep potential. Still, with that contact, I'm going to sign you to a AAA deal. So, hey, if the majority of people have already turned off this video or skipped ahead and are hearing me now, I understand, right? I understand. But at the very least, there are people that enjoy seeing the entire process and treat the video as background noise, as a time waster, which, hey, I am honored to be your background noise time waster. See if I can sign Louis Bichette. Deep potential, but a good AAA guy. James Stroud. Ken Pullison. Try to sign you. There we go. And Wesley Meyer, you're not worth it. Third base, Adrian Beltre would be an interesting pickup. Willis Galvis, D potential, but still for a AAA option, not bad. Kurowski for a minor league option, not terrible. Mascara, kind of terrible regardless, and Cole Stobie, also just terrible. Shortstops, anybody? 19, George Huerta is awful. Sean Bassett's, I'll sign him. I'll give him a chance. And Guerrero, I'll pass on. Outfield-wise, who do we have? Richard Ahn, decent power, worth signing him. Like I said, we'll slowly start to fill out the roster with just these random free agent signings, pretty much year in and year out. It's kind of the best way to do it, so you don't really get stuck with anybody. I doubt we have any free agent relievers. That has been an extreme rarity. From what I've seen, Jeff Dunlap's worth signing, though. Anybody else? Kevin Morant? Kevin Morant. Really? Really? San Diego Studios? Really? Kevin Morant. Unbelievable. Marco Estrada, still a free agent. Looks like I made the right call not sending him a qualifying offer. Or bringing him back in general. Grayson Long could be worth signing. Actually, he wants somewhat of a deal. Let's go 2 years works. 2 years. 2 more years. 2 more years. 21, Doug Thompson. D potential, but I'll still sign him. Is that it for free agents? It is. Okay, so we were able to bring in some players. Obviously, though, we still have a lot to look over, and we'll do the rest of that in the next episode. Hopefully finding a new landing spot for Russell Martin, free up some money, and bring in someone who's a little bit more reliable in the playoffs, and also who isn't 36 years old. Lino, well, odds are will just be the backup option. I mean, it's not the best option. Catching is something we definitely need to look to improve on, obviously. At first base, we still have Justin Smoke. Decent chance I'd trade away Kendrys Morales, maybe. It might be the last year. It is the last year of his deal. I might keep him, actually. But if I trade him, I do have Mike Napoli there as a backup option. In terms of prospects, Del Abate, the free agent signing, is our best guy there. So that's also something we're going to want to work on. Second base, we're good for a few years with DJ LeMahieu. Josh Harrison's on this team as well, so look for me to more than likely trade Solarte and Travis. There's going to be some movement there. Third base, Vlad Jr., he's on this team from the start. Glad to have him here. Prospect-wise, Michael Silva's the type of guy who we're just going to immediately trade to bring him whenever we can. Tulowitzki, same thing. We'll probably trade him out. Can run Harrison at shortstop. Could run Urena at shortstop, for that matter. Lynn will also be traded. I might end up trading Teoscar Hernandez. There's a decent chance of that. I might just run with Peralta, trade Hernandez to see what I can get. Or I'll trade Peralta. I don't think both of them will be on this team next year or for this upcoming season. Pilar might stay, depending on what options we get. Grichuk, Polanco. You see the point. We have some moves to make. And overall, we could still probably use another addition to the rotation. I do like the bullpen now, though, with Brad Brack and Sean Doolittle. So I'm happy about that. Overall, I feel like we've taken a good step forward despite losing Josh Donaldson. And again, we would have acquired some compensation in the upcoming draft. We'll have those extra picks that we can hopefully take advantage of. But for now, this video has gone on for quite a while, so we're going to call it here. Like I said, in terms of the format for off-season episodes, the off-season takes a while. If you do your due diligence, you look through all the free agent options, the off-season can take a while, especially when you have major options like a Bryce Harper that you could send an offer to. But overall, I feel like we're on a good path. That will continue in the next episode. This was the free agent frenzy. The next episode, wheeling and dealing. That's going to be the theme as we get ready for Season 2. So for now, that'll do it. If you enjoyed the episode, do what every other YouTuber asks you to do. Like, comment, and subscribe, man, and click the bell. Ring, ring. It's a bell. It dings and rings. Yeah, you know what a bell does. Links are in the description to my Twitter and Twitch. Give me a follow on both of those platforms. I would appreciate it. And until next time, have a good one. Take it easy. I love you all. Goodbye.